It's a peaceful morning. Everybody back? Rosie Stone, putting people out to the universe. And now, oh my goodness, I have to apologize for the program. I added on extra songs. I forgot Dennis was coming to sing for us today. So I do apologize. He will be doing our special music today, and we're going to move do you know where you're going to for the closing song, okay? Just love that song. And right now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our wonderful, lovely speaker today, who I have known for a while. And I met her over at Spiritual Living Center, Universal Spiritual Living Center long ago. And we just had such a beautiful time together with all our adventures. And I'll never forget Reverend Alora coming to join me and special friends when I was kind of trying to sort out my path at one point, and she came and worked with me and friends in a meditation circle for my spiritual guidance, and I'll ever be indebted to you for that, because she did foresee this. So thank you. And now, Margo entered her spiritual path after receiving sporadic messages in 1983 in Boulder, Colorado, that her teaching career was complete and that it was time to add spirituality to her life. Plus, she would be moving. Her mother's poor health brought her to San Diego, and her mother's transition established her back to living in San Diego, taking classes from the spiritualist teachers and the science of mind teachers. She was ordained at Fraternal Spiritualist Church in 1995. Her spiritual path has taken her to Russia and Mexico to give workshops, and she currently speaks at spiritualist churches as well as centers for spiritual living. She has ongoing classes called Saturdays with the Angels for 19 years at Universal Spirit Center. She recently identified herself as explorer of divine love, peace, joy, and abundance, believing that God can never be stagnant, and it isn't our destiny to be stuck or stagnant either. We are here to expand and stretch into unseen vibrations, to luxuriate in intimacy with the divine. Let's welcome warmly, please, Reverend Margo Alora.
See this very nice notebook? It doesn't have my talk in it. Cynthia asked me this morning when we were leaving, do I have it? I picked up this one. It doesn't have my talk in it. So let me know, let me know that you know God's got our back. They're not going to, you're not going to be sitting here and I'm quiet. God, she knows what she's doing. And actually, as I've been writing this talk for a couple of days, I noticed it. I wasn't writing my usual way. And it wasn't, I usually write down about 10 points and I'm done. I'd write sentences and I'd look at them. So, and I got it in the back of my mind that I'm supposed to feel you, you feel me, and let's create a talk that works for everybody. So it's interesting how it all works out, because the song, Here I Am, Lord, is one I was singing in the 80s when I was just beginning, and I felt like it was an affirmation. Margo, we got your back, and we got theirs too. They're not going to be bored. Don't you worry. So I was sitting there, and I noticed that some people were, doing this, like getting their energy ready for the healing. And then what I received as a message was, let's do that together. So I want you to rub your hands together. You can make noise too. And then to the person closest to you, do not touch them, but just do this to whoever's around. And you can move a little bit. And notice if you're farther away, like Donna is with Brenda, that's fine and dandy. Feel the energy, feel the divine. And where is that divine living right now? In you. I'm getting goosebumps all over. That, so I'd like you to say that. The divine lives within me.
The divine lives within me.
Feel the energy and send it. You don't have to have, you can say I'm sending love. Or just send the frequency. Send the love vibration that is in you, the divine that's in you. Share it with someone else. And how's that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Fun, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can feel it. And I'd like you this week, if things are going wonky a little bit, remember where the divine lives. Remember what you can do. Maybe even do this to your hands to remember the energy that is flowing. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Oh, I guess I could. Well, I'm not hurrying you. And when I was here, someone said that they told someone else about this church, and they said it, the whole term is what? Spiritualist, First Christian Spiritualist Church. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And the person reacted to the word Christian. Now, to be honest, a long time ago, I would have too. Some people had come up to me and said, in the name of Christ, something was wrong with me. So I want you to realize how important you are, because you are redefining or opening up even the word Christ or Jesus. Jesus never, I'm aware that never judged people. My goodness, he was the opposite. I don't know how people have done such things in the name of Jesus. It just seems the opposite. But this church and you are redefining. Which brings me now to the fact that you are very important. Your relationship, just you, and not what you've done, but just you is important to the divine. The divine has us here in human form for experiences, and always has a part of itself in us, so is experiencing through us. So it is, I want to emphasize, I'll probably say this a few times today, how important you are and your relationship is to the divine. This is no little bitty deal here. When you decide to come here, you came to be an emissary. Now, I used to hear that, and I used to grimace. It's like, oh, some of the things I was doing, they weren't what I would think, an emissary. So I was learning. And so when people say, you're sinful, number one, I don't use that word. I think we make mistakes. And I think after I make a mistake, what the divine is aware of is what I learn. And can I make amends? So we all make mistakes because we're adventurous, because we are exploring, because we're the divine here as an explorer. We didn't come down to just march in place with other people. That's fine. But you and I are explorers. And that's why your relationship to the divine is important. So today, when the talk is still at home and I'm doing it this way, this is an opportunity for me to hold hands with the divine, trust the divine, and know that I can talk to the part of that's divine in you. What a wonderful thing to know. You know, this feels special to me because we are changing together, and you're changing me. Now, Dennis and I have also known each other a real long time. And I'm sure if he looks at me closely, he knows some ways I have changed. Good, for the good, right, Dennis?
Oh,
Yeah. So that change is what's special for this experience, for being human. And that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I didn't know how to treat dogs for a lot of years because that's not the way my family did it. And now I'm changing and I treat dogs with reverence and other animals with reverence. So what we want to do is be aware that the changes that we are making are from the God seed inside. And if I hear somebody else tell me that's not right or that's stupid, I used to react to that word stupid a lot. I did. I just went, oh, maybe I'm stupid. I don't do that anymore. And I don't want you to do that. But that was just one of the things that, you know, I had to work on and to say, you have your opinion, but I am not going to take that on. And that's from the God energy inside. So each of us get to be the individual expression of ourselves. Now I remember years ago when it was like all individuals, but people weren't necessarily in this group I was in being kind to each other. And I have an angel group, like she said, that's been going on a long time. And I noticed the other day that they can give and take. And it's not, well, I want to talk because I know something, or, you know, let me tell you my story, that we're learning to ebb and flow in our sharing. And when she says something, it doesn't negate the God in me and what I know, but it adds. And that's what you're doing here. And that's why you're important to the divine, because you're adding energy. You're adding to a higher frequency than has been available. I love that word frequency because it doesn't have any, you know, it's like, I'm not telling you to be a Christian or to be a Buddhist. I'm not telling you to be something. But I'm telling you that there's a frequency available to each of us as we make choices that validate our own selves and make choices that go for the light. And you know sometimes when there's these choices like, I could do this, I could not do that, or I could not. And you know, when you make the choice that is for the light, maybe it's like giving some money to somebody and then you don't have much money left. But you know that it's a good thing to do. And then afterwards you don't feel poorer, you've gone for the light, and what we really know is, you know, abundance is available to us. Because I heard somebody the other day sort of say, well, then I gave it to her, and then I wondered if it was right. Well, let that wonder go away. Let that, and then remember abundance. It's one of the aspects of the divine, whether it's money or water or air. So after you do something that maybe feels a little iffy, go for the aspect of the divine. Was it about abundance? Was it about love? If you know if it was about the love of another person, open yourself up after you've done something and let the love, it just sort of pours in. Like this song. I mean, they chose a lot of songs, but they chose the song that would give me a little lift today. So look for the support, and it's often in the way of a song or a bird. You know, something that's not necessarily somebody coming up to me and saying, okay, Margo, now you can do this talk even though you left the other one behind. It's not that linear. It's more like, what can I open up to know that I'm supported and you are too. And together, we'll create a talk that works for us. There's a little difference in that, isn't it? So I'm thinking about spiritualism a little bit. And before New Thought, which was about 1920s, there was spiritualism. We were there first. And what we brought to that time was an awareness of that the divine can live inside. Now, I was born in the 1940s. What I learned is God is out there on a cloud, and I'm literally, this is what I thought, and he was old and he had a beard. So, spiritualism had brought me out of that fog into the awareness that I still have to watch it, because sometimes I'll say, I'll look out for God, and God is everywhere, but I'll look out. So I'm looking for that cloud. The divine is here and everywhere. So that's one thing that spiritualism has brought to you and me and allowed you to be the opening that you are today. Another thing I was thinking about is I had somebody the other day, and they said their sister died in a pretty difficult way in a fire, and so she couldn't get that picture out of her mind. And first thing I offered, gently, is the word relocation instead of died, because I believe that we don't die. I believe that we do relocate. And I like the word. Transition is a good word, but I sort of like lately relocation, because you just go from here to here. And when I go from here to here, you can still talk to me because I just relocated. So she was saying, the picture of her was hard. And so I talked to her about in our faith, we don't say that we're frozen in however we left. Whether it was, because it could be a war. There's a lot of relocation that's not very pleasant. But we know is on the other side after we relocated that we are light and we are the divine. And I have an Uncle Mac, who made some very poor decisions. And from that side, yes, he was, part of the divine. And he said he wanted to come back and in spirit form and make some amends. So I'm not saying that, everything we do, if we've done something like Hitler or something, that I believe that they do make amends. And my Uncle Mac came to me and helped me with something, which was really sweet. Very, very sweet. In fact, I'll tell you. So I was in this class, and it's called a core belief, and I made a gun. Other people made roses and babies and lovely things, and I made a gun. And I looked, and this was when I was going to classes with spiritualists and with science of minds, and I was going every day. And I was going to both churches on Sundays, so I had really thrown myself into this. And so I prayed and I said, why would I make a gun? What's this about a core belief? And what I received back was Uncle Mac came. And he said, well, do you remember when you were about 3 or so and you were the the flower girl in my wedding? And I did. I was a flower child. And the next memory I had was at the house, and he had beat up his wife, and me and my mother and other people were cleaning the blood off the wall. So I said, whoa. It's like, yeah, I remember that, yeah. And so as the weeks progressed, what I realized is he was bringing to me the awareness that I had accepted violence, because there was other violence in my family. I had accepted it like a part of my arm. I mean, I didn't argue about it. It's just, that's who I was. Violence was part of me. And he came to tell me that he apologized profusely and profoundly and lovingly, that he gave me the idea that violence could attach to me. That is not true. That is not who I am. Then the next week he came and he said, I feel blessed by getting to be with you, Margo. And certainly I felt blessed. And then I looked up and he had a whole crowd of support and guides, and they were going to someone else to make more amends, to, affect, because he had been what we call a scoundrel. So, what I want you to know is our faith has allowed us to see our beauty and our own divinity and how we make a difference. When we leave here today, I hope you know you make a difference, whether it's a smile or whether it's, you try something harder that you didn't think you were going to try. You can hold hands with God. You can hold hands with the divine. You always have choices. I could have come up here and went, oh, doggone it, I forgot my talk, and what am I going to do? And God doesn't love me, because why would God put me up here? I could have gone there. I guess I could have. It sounds awful. But I guess I could have. What I'm saying is we have choices. And we have faith. And we have the awareness that we are not alone. I have a guide, Miriam. And she was a sister to Moses. And she's always with me. She just is. I can't get rid of her. Not till I, make my relocation, and then who knows. So we have guys that are dedicated to us, and we have the love volume to know we can't get rid of God either. I know for a while when my cat died when I was young, for a little while, I just thought, well, God doesn't love me because my cat died. And that may sound simplistic, but that's where I was. But the divine, the divine can't leave us. And then pretty soon I started realizing it more and more. So know that there's always, sometimes I think of it as an electric outlet nearby. Wherever I am, I can plug in, or I can just know that the divine knows me and absolutely loves me. Loves my age, which I'm still struggling with a little bit. Loves that I'm a lesbian, that's fine. There is nothing that isn't loved that each of you are. What a wonderful presence to know that. What a wonderful awareness, and what a wonderful way to share yourself. And be proud of who you are individually. God did not want us all to look alike, or we would have, really, right? And people say, well, let's all wear one color for a religion or something. That's fine, but we don't have to. Do what you individually want. If you want to wear a cross, wear a cross. If you want to wear an ankh, wear something that you might want to hold on to a little bit. Like I have Isis, and she symbolizes a entity that I bring through, and he's 3,000 years old. So I like to have Isis here. We can have that things that remind us who we are, and let us remind each other who we are. Because you are blessed, and you are a blessing. Thank you.